now we're about to go live, and I'm checking the connection. So just let me see how it's all working. And it seems like we're now live, we're online, and now I'm going to be checking the live chat. So if you guys have any questions, you have any requests, just type me something in the live chat. I'm checking it constantly. Also, if you can hear me well, if you can see me, if the connection is good, just let me know. Type plus or something, or type hi in the live chat, so I know that the tech setup is okay this time. So you guys let me know if the audio is good, because last time we had some technical issues, and this time I want to make sure that everything goes smoothly. So just let me know. Alright, now should we proceed to the actual tutorial? Let me show you the demo of what we're going to be creating today. So this is the kind of a gallery that... Okay, audio is good, thank you. Now, this is the example of what we're going to be creating today. This is a sort of animated gallery, and it is customizable, so you can customize it the way you like. You can change the size of the images, you can change the speed of the animation, and it's pretty basic, it is simple, and it's really fast and easy to create, and it is also responsive. So let's see how it is going to be looking on the tablet device. So let it load. And if we let it load and if we refresh the page, we're going to see that the three columns are now resized to fit the layout of the tablet. And you see it's all looking pretty nice. And as you know, in Elementor, you can change the... Okay, it's now refreshing again for some reason, but just... I see some highs in the live chat. Hi guys, thank you for watching, thank you for joining in. And you see now the three columns have readjusted, the size has readjusted, and we now can see that it's all looking nice on a tablet device as well. And if we switch in here, if we switch to some mobile device, okay, it's a little broken, but we're gonna fix it, because the thing is that, you know, in Elementor you are able to adjust the size of the paddings and margins for your columns, and you're gonna be able to customize it for every layout. So now let's start with the basic setup without any settings, pretty much with no settings. This is simply the columns with images, and I'm going to explain to you what I've done here. But basically we're going to go from this setup to the final setup that I was showing to you in the preview right now. And hello there, some new people in the live chat, and this is the demo in the Elementor editor, and we're going to be looking through it in just a second. We want to show to some new people who have just joined in what we're going to create today. And so this is this gallery, and it's kind of going to stay in the background, and if you scroll down you can add any other section, any section you like, continue with about me or something like that. You can use this gallery as the heading section at the top of your website. If it's a portfolio or something, you can use it at the top of the website, so this is the first thing that user sees once they enter your website. Or it could also be somewhere in the middle of the page, like it's also absolutely possible to do that. And you can also make the images clickable. It is also possible, but what I want to show you as well, it might be a little bit slow because we're streaming right now, because we're live on YouTube, so this is why the loading process might be a little slow. And I also want to show you the website that has inspired me to create this tutorial, to create this gallery myself. So let it load as well. So this is the website, and if I'm not mistaken, they have got some sort of award for the design, and I can share the link to this website to you if you want to check this out as well, if you want to see it yourself. So let me just send it to you in the live chat. Okay, give me a second. There it goes. Okay, all good. Now, so this is the website that was sort of an example for me, so I knew what result to strive for while creating this tutorial. So, and another thing that I have added from, just a little addition to this design was these little tooltips. So when you hover over the images, you can see that you can now see a little tooltip that appears, that pops up once you hover over the image. And this is the tiny thing that we're going to need the JetTricks plugin for. And I'm going to share the link to this plugin to you in the live chat a little bit later. But so as you see, here's the transition. You see this transition when this column of the images has scrolled to the end and it starts over, so the animation is infinite, it loops, and it's gonna be continuous and it's never gonna end. And this is possible to achieve with a little bit of custom CSS. And these little tooltips, these little hover animations are also possible to achieve with JetTricks plugin, and JetTricks plugin can do a ton of other things, and I'm going to share the link to this plugin to you a little bit later. So now, without any further talking, let's proceed to the actual tutorial. So here I am in the Elementor editor. I have done nothing here besides I have created 3 columns, just so not to waste your time. I just pre-created this layout. I created it beforehand, and I have 3 columns in here. So each column has 1, 2, 3, 4 images, so it creates this masonry layout. And I have inserted spacers between each image in a column, like that. Between the 2 images in a column you have a spacer, which is 100 points, so the value here is 100 pixels. Also, every column has 50 pixels of padding on the right and 50 pixels of padding on the left, which creates this gap in here on the left and on the right. And you also, because of that, in the sum you also have 100 pixels in between these 2 images in 2 different columns. Alright, so right now we're pretty much set. And what I want to also point out is that in the settings of your section, if you click on the section here, if you go to layout, and here we're going to see column position. The column position has to be set to top, because if you set it to the middle, your columns are gonna be positioned according to the middle of the column, and the middle of the column is going to be at the middle of the section, and this is not what we need. We want our column to start at the top of the section, so we want to kind of align the top of the column to the top of the section. So what you want to do is to set the column position to top. So here it is, and you can insert whatever images you like, and you can set the image size to full. If you want to make these images in your gallery clickable, yeah, this is actually like simple the image widget, just images. And if you want to make them clickable, you can go to link and insert either custom URL that's gonna relink the user from this image to let's say the page of this particular project on your website, so the user can check out the case study or something that you want the user to read, or media file. So it's gonna open this image in a lightbox. So also there's an option to open this image in a lightbox on click. So it's 2 options, either a link or the lightbox. So the lightbox meaning that this image is going to be opened like that, so user can see it in a bigger resolution. Also, so we're pretty much done for now, And what I want to do is now start adding some custom CSS code so we can make our columns move. Alright, what we need to do is to go to the settings of the column, go to advanced, and in the custom CSS tab in here, you're going to have this tab if you own Elementor Pro, and to add custom CSS, you're going to need to own Elementor Pro. So if you want to be able to replicate this same type of gallery that we're creating, the animated gallery that I'm creating for this live stream, you are going to need Elementor Pro. So what we need to do here is to start adding our CSS code. So let me start with simply pasting the code snippet, and I'm going to share it later in the comments for this live stream, so once I'm finished you can go and check it out. So after this stream is finished, I'm going to leave it in the comments so you can copy it and use it for your project. So in Elementor, you use selector instead of the name of the element as you usually do in CSS. So you simply use selector, so it selects, it targets that specific element to which you're adding this custom CSS snippet. We're now editing a column, so this selector is actually this column. And now these lines, you need all of these, and they look kind of the same, but it simply helps to ensure that this animation is going to work in most modern browsers, and if I'm not mistaken, these are supported in like 99% of the versions of modern browsers, so you do not have to worry that it's not gonna work in any sort of browsers. So let's look at this line here, and I'm going to make the interface a little bit bigger just so it is a little easier for you to see what I'm doing in here. So let's make it a little bit bigger, and I think it's better. So now let's have a look at this line here. Let me just separate it. Okay, now what this line does is gives this animation a name. So it's actually a middle slot. It's a, let's say, a side slot. And since I have changed the name of the animation, so this is the entire name with the hyphen between the two words. Since I have changed it in one line, I have to make sure that this name actually matches in all of these lines, because it has to be the same information but just repeated for different browsers. So I hope this is clear. And next is the duration of the animation. So is the total duration of the animation that you are creating from start to finish. And linear is the type of interpolation. Simple interpolation is the way with what speed your animation starts, with what speed it proceeds to the middle of the animation, and with what speed it ends. So if you use ease, for example, this one, it's gonna mean that the animation is gonna be a little slower at the beginning, then it's gonna get faster to the middle of the animation, and it's gonna get slower, a little bit slower to the end again. But we're going to use linear, and I'm not going to be going into much detail about it, so because this tutorial is beginner friendly, so I'm not going to be putting too much attention to the code itself. And infinite is what allows this animation to be continuous, to loop. Now here is here you have to repeat the name of the animation again, and keyframes is what helps us imagine the timeline of the animation. So 0 is where it starts and 100% is where it ends. So at the beginning of this animation, I want my column to start moving from the points 0, 0 to the minus 1000 pixels. So I want to move it down by 1000 pixels. If I remove this minus from here, it means that I want this column to move up by 100 pixels. Something like this. And as you see, since we have different names for this animation, we have this name here, but here the name is different. This is why it is not working. You see this column is not moving, but once we change the name, we see that it now moves again. So if we set minus in here, you see it changes direction. And if we remove the minus, it now moves down. And if we add the minus, it means that it's going to be moved by 1000 pixels up. So this is how you set the direction for the movement. Okay, and it kind of slices my head, I just noticed. And this is how you set the movement for your column. Alright, let's say I want these two columns, these two side columns to move up, and okay, no, actually let's make them move down, and this column to move up. But also you see that, so now I can see it from the start. You see that once this animation starts, it's there's empty space here at the top. So what I want to do is to add a little bit of margin here, a little bit of negative margin. Let me just add minus 1050. So now it starts from the last image in the column, and it can now move down, revealing all the other images that are now up there. So I hope it is clear, and if you have any questions, you can ask them in the live chat as I'm going, and if you want me to explain something in more detail, just let me know in the live chat, because this is kind of a new format that we're starting with. It's only the third live stream that we're having. And by the way, I forgot to mention at the beginning of this live stream, but I can say it now. If you want to get one subscription by Template Monster, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what it is, and if you already know, you can now go to the description and get the 10% discount promo code, and you can get the one subscription for a 10% discount, with a discount in 10%. So if you want it now, and if you want what one subscription is, go to the description under this video, under this live stream, and get this promo code. And to those who don't know what this is, once we're going to start using JetTricks plugin, I'm going to explain to you what one subscription actually is. And so in here, as this column is already moving, I want to switch the animation off so it doesn't distract us, and I want to copy this entire code snippet from this tab here and go to the other side column that I have. I click edit, and I also want to add minus 1500 of padding, 1500 of negative margin, and go to custom CSS tab and insert this page snippet that I have copied. And now it's also going to be working with this column as well, because this is the same code snippet that we have pasted and copied from this column. So now it is also working. We have checked it. Okay, let me switch it off. Alright, and now for this column, I want to do a little different thing. I see one message in the live chat. Everything explained perfectly. Thank you so much. It's really nice to hear. And if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask them. I'm going to be glad to answer any of the questions that you have. So now I'm going to go to the middle column. I'm going to click on this icon, or simply right click and choose edit column, and in the custom CSS tab I'm going to insert the code snippet that I have copied from this column in here, but I want to change the direction. This is why I need to change the name of this animation. So I want to use another name, and I go and change it in all of these lines, because we need to ensure that this animation is going to be working in all of the browsers, and it's not going to break, and it's not going to look weird. So, oh, like that, and let me copy it once again and change it in here. Good. And then I want to change the direction, and as you remember, to change the direction of the movement, and it slices my head again. Come on. And as you remember, you need to just insert the minus, and it's gonna now move up. And what I want to do is to add a little bit of margin in here, like that, so we have a little bit of space as the animation starts, and we can still see the top image, so it doesn't disappear right away as the animation starts. And I'm going to switch it off for now. In CSS, in order to switch off the animation, you have to insert these two things in here. Alright, so we're pretty much set. We have added negative margin 1500 pixels of negative margin for these two columns, and 100 of pixels of margin in here for this column. And we're pretty much done. And what we can do is to now switch this animation off. Oh, sorry, switch it on. It was switched off, but now we need to switch it on, and like that. We're switching it on for all of the columns, but in the editor, because these columns started to move not simultaneously, they now look weird that they not move at the same, the same pace, how to say that, but you see, they move randomly. But if we click update, it now saves the code that we have applied for these columns, and we can go to the preview, and on the preview it's actually going to look better because all of these columns are going to start to move at the same time. They're going to start moving simultaneously, and it means that it's going to look a lot better. So let's just now see how it's all working. Let's let it load, and it's a little cranky because of the because we're streaming live right now, so it now might look a little bit weird, but what I want to do is to refresh it once again, so it might appear a little better. As you see, as the images appear, they fade in. Alright, the connection again. And I don't really like the way it looks because of the connection. As you see, the images do not load really fast, and this is why I cannot see the transition. But normally, when I'm not running the live stream on YouTube, it's actually working. It's working really great, and it looks beautiful. So let's try it once again, and let's hope it loads the right way, and we can see the fade in. So yeah, now it was good. Now this is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to fade in and start moving at the same time. So as the fading in starts, the movement also starts, and this is why it is smooth. And these images are gonna keep moving, and once the column has reached its end, and once the animation has finished, you're going to see that the images are going to slowly fade out. So they're going to slowly disappear, and you're not going to see them anymore. So this is what it looks like for now. And also what I want to do is to show you how you can create these little tooltips that I have showed you at the beginning in the sample that I have pre-made for this live stream. Okay, let me get back to the editor. So what I want to actually do here is to click on this image. And what we're going to need, the next tool that we're going to need is called JetTricks. Okay, hold on. Here we are. This is called JetTricks, and I'm going to explain this to you in a second. But first of all, I do not want all of these images to move in my editor, so just for now, at this moment, while I'm in the editor and I'm editing some other stuff, I want to turn the animation off. Just let me quickly go and do that. And meanwhile, I want to mention that you can customize all of these values. You can change the speed of the animation. So if you make this number smaller, the animation is going to go faster. And let me show you this with an example. Okay, if we go here, custom CSS. So if you switch it to 30 or 10, now you see that it's all really quick. It only takes 10 seconds for the column to go all the way, to fade in, go all the way, and then fade out. Like that. It only takes 10 seconds. So this is what the duration is, and this is how you can change the speed of the animation. And also another value that impacts the speed is the number of pixels by which you want this column to move down or up. Like here we said 1000, but if we say, let's say 300, it's gonna mean that the final destination of this column, this column's movement, is going to be only like 300 pixels down, and it's gonna mean that it's still gonna take 100 seconds, but the animation is going to be actually a lot slower, because it takes 100 seconds to move the the smaller distance. All right, so as we say, we need 100 seconds to move down by 1000 pixels. Is gonna be a little faster because we are covering the larger distance. I hope it is clear, and if you have any questions, just let me know. And also let me explain one more value, that is opacity. And as you want your images to fade in, you want to make them not fully transparent, like 100%. You want to make them 100% visible, but there's also an option to make them like half transparent, which is setting the opacity to 1.5, which is going to be like 50% of the actual opacity of the image. So you see that they're now half transparent. You might want this effect as well sometimes. So just so you know, it is opacity that this is the property that's actually responsible for the transparency of the image. So what was I going to do? I was going to switch this off. So as I have said, all of these values are customizable, and you can customize every single thing of this code, every single value, and you can make it look the way you want it to. So it's going to look unique and just the way you like. So what I wanted to do is to show you how to create those little tooltips that appear once you hover over the item, the image in our case, and this is possible with the JetTricks plugin. Let me just go really quickly and show you how you can get this plugin for yourself. So there are two ways you can get it. The first one, just let me go really quickly. The first one is to go to, here we go. Okay, here it is. Nice. Okay, so this is a website. This is templatemonster.com, and this is one of the places where you can get JetTricks plugin. And the other place that I recommend is going to be one subscription service, but about that in a second. So JetTricks plugin is a plugin that allows you to create really complex and impressive looking visual effects for your website. Those include animations, those include sticky elements, those include different elements and different things that help you hide or show more of your content to your visitors. It's also animated backgrounds created with the help of particle systems, which are super easy to use. And if you want to learn more about JetTricks plugin, you can check it out online. You can Google it and you can see what it's capable of. You can also check the live demo, which shows you the samples of every single widget, of samples of the designs that you can create with every single widget in JetTricks. And those look pretty impressive, and I recommend you to check this out. So this is the plugin that you're going to need to create those tiny tooltips. Let me actually show you what I mean. So now, as this page is loading, I'm going to get back here, and okay, it might take a while because we're now streaming, we're live. And now I want to show you one membership service, which is another place where you can get a JetTricks plugin and all of the other Jet plugins. If you're familiar with the Jet plugins, with the family of Jet plugins, which are the superb add-ons for Elementor, and they're considered to be the best-selling add-ons for Elementor page builder. And this is another place, except templatemonster.com, where you can get not only the Jet plugins, but also in other, like 10,000, am I not mistaken? Around 10,000 of other products, including WordPress themes, website themes, some other for other CMS platforms, e-commerce themes, plugins for WordPress, PrestaShop, and for other platforms. Presentation templates for Keynote, PowerPoint, and others, also graphics, and you also get technical support, 1 year of free hosting, and the chance to download any number of products for any number of times and use them for any number of your projects. So you can download unlimited number of projects an unlimited number of times and use them for an unlimited number of websites. If you want to check one by Template Monster out, this is the navigation, looks pretty convenient. So here you can see what categories have been updated. Here they are, and I'm going to now share this link in the live chat. Okay, now I see there is actually a new message. How can I create own affiliate program in WordPress? So excuse me, but this webinar is not about affiliate programs. Maybe next time I should think about doing a webinar about affiliate programs, about creating affiliate programs, but I'm not an expert on that, so I am sorry, I am not able to help you right now, but in the future we're going to consider doing something about that if people are interested. Thank you for the suggestion, but for now I'm not able to help you because I'm no expert, at least yet. But this is an interesting idea. So what I want to, yeah, I now know. So here now this page has loaded, and you see that once I hover over the image, we see this little tooltip here, which actually can tell us a little bit about this specific image that we are now seeing. So for the user who is looking through your images in the portfolio, they can now see a little bit of hints about your projects. You can say what kind of project this is, maybe for what website, for what studio, for what magazine you have done it, like something like that. And this is a neat feature. So if you want to use it on your website, I'm now going to show you how you can once you have JetTricks plugin installed, how you can do that. So once again, you can get JetTricks on templatemonster.com. I'm going to share this in the live chat as well. So this is our website, and this is the actual plugin. And I see another message in the live chat. You can build a plugin with PHP, JavaScript, and CSS. Yeah, you can. You can, if you're a web developer and if you know how to do that, you can do it. But I'm no really big expert. I know HTML and I know CSS. I know how to work with them, but haven't had any experience creating plugins. I don't know if we can pull off a tutorial on creating a plugin for WordPress or a plugin for Elementor, but maybe we might try to ask one of our developers here to do something like that a little later. So for now, I'm going to click on the image and show you how you can create a little tooltip for your visitors, so they're going to see it once they hover over the image, which seems to be a pretty neat feature. So go to Advanced, and once you have installed JetTricks plugin, you're going to see this tab over here. So once we click on this tab, we have to wait for a while once it updates, because of the connection. The connection is a little bit slower because we're streaming on YouTube, because we're live, so it might take a little bit longer for some things to happen in the Elementor editor here. And so this is how you create it. In JetTricks, you have a number of options for your element. It can be either parallax, which is going to make this element to move with a different speed once you scroll down the page. Let's test it. Should we? So as you see, I have applied this effect to this image, and now as I move down, you see that it moves with a different speed, so it's kind of moving on its own. And I see thank you for your time and this video message in live chat, and I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you can get some value from these live streams that we're doing, and I hope you can get some tips and you can apply them. Okay, hold on. You can get some tips and you can apply them for your projects. And if you have any suggestions for the topics of our next videos, for our next live streams, just let me know in the live chat. Just type all of your ideas in the chat, and I'm gonna think if we can pull it off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining in. I really appreciate it. So this is how JetTricks can help you create a parallax effect. And now satellite is another feature. It's a pretty interesting one, and it creates a text element or an image element that is going to be attached to this image. But okay, let's not take too much time for that, and let's not go into detail. Now I want to show you how to use actually this tooltip. So once it's off, whoa, okay, it's a little slow. It's a little slow because of the connection, because of the stream. Not nice. So now I hope it's not gonna take too long for me to show you how it's working. Right, so now we switched the tooltip off, and if we now go back to this image and we turn it on, we can now see how this tooltip is actually going to be looking on the page. And I'm going to show you how we can change its look. So this is how it's gonna look. Once you hover over the image, you're gonna see this tooltip, and you can add some text in there, and you can change its style. Let's now see what we can do with this kind of a tooltip, this kind of design element. So this is the field where you add your text. This is the placement. Placement meaning where you want this tooltip to appear, whether you want it to appear at the top, at the bottom, on the left, or on the right from your element. Also the animation, the kind of animation that you want to apply. Now the offset, it means by how many pixels it's going to be away from the actual element, and then the distance is pretty much the same thing. And the Z index just simply ensures that this element is going to be on top of all the other elements that are on your page, simply. And the style, you can change the width. Here the typography settings, the color of the text, the color of the background. You can set also an image as a background, and the color of the arrow, and some other settings as you usually have them in your Elementor editor. So for now, what I want to do is to go to the settings of the page and change the color of the background to black, as I have in my initial example. And we need to go to the page settings and go here and maybe do like pitch black. It could be pitch black, or it could be something a little bit lighter. It might be something like this. I guess it looks nice. Now, let me switch now the animation on for all of the columns. For that, I need to go to the settings of the column and I need to turn it on. So now this animation is gonna start working. And we're about to wrap this tutorial up. So, like that. And let's click update, and while it's updating, I want to remind you that in the description under this video you can get a promo code for a 10% discount and subscribe to one membership with a 10% discount. And it means that, let me show this to you once again. This is the regular price. For now here is the sort of a sale running, sort of a sale going on by its own. But if you get this promo code, you can get additional 10% discount. Okay, one day you can make a video how to build responsive design. Of course we're going to make it. And actually, I actually wanted to show you how you can turn this layout into, how you can actually adjust it for the tablet and for the mobile device. I was going to do it, but I'm still not really used to all this live streaming and everything like that, so sometimes I forget stuff. Okay, but it happens. And once we hover over the images, now we can see that we have these little tooltips, and as I have mentioned, you can create these little tooltips with the help of the JetTricks plugin. So, looks pretty nice, and now I suggest that we go back to the editor, and I'm going to show you how you can adjust this layout for the tablet and for mobile device. Alright, and thank you for mentioning it, because I was going to show it to you from the very beginning, but okay, got a little nervous and forgot, but it happens. Okay, so now it's some crazy stuff going on, and in order to fix it, I want to go back to the desktop mode. So as you know, in Elementor, you can go to the desktop, tablet, and mobile modes. This is sort of a responsive modes. Here you can see the breakpoints, and you can adjust and customize the layout for each of these devices, types of devices. Okay, and let's turn it off, because it's gonna be distracting. It's gonna be super distracting. Oh, it's gonna be really distracting as we're going to be editing this entire thing. Okay, sorry. Up. So I want to switch it off really quickly, and then we're going to get to making this entire layout responsive. So it's turned off right now, it's not moving. Now, tablet. So as we go to the tablet mode, let's actually go to mobile right away. Let's skip tablet, because the workflow is going to be similar, and in order to not waste too much of your time, I want to show you only mobile, but on tablet it's most likely to adjust automatically, but we're gonna see it later. For now, what I want to do is first thing, go to the advanced tab in the settings of the column and set the margins to 0 for now, just for now at this point. And in the layout, set the column width to 30, and repeat the same process with the rest of the columns. So edit column, advanced, margin 0, heading 0, layout 30%. Next, repeating the same process. For now, just making sure that it doesn't break on mobile. Right, something like that. It's actually better to set it to 33, I guess, like this. Alright, Now it's looking a little better. And for now you can do actually change the margins and paddings the way you like. We can add some padding on the left and on the right, and now we can copy this style. And oh, okay, we shouldn't, because if we copy the style, I believe that we're going to also copy that code snippet from the custom CSS tab. So let's go and manually change it, just so we don't accidentally break something. Alright, so on the right and on the left. So here is this layout for a mobile device, looking pretty okay, don't you think? I think it's looking okay. Now let's go to the preview and see how it is changing. So this is still the desktop, and let's let it load and see how it now looks on the type of a mobile device. And what we're going to do is to go to the mobile device mode, to the sort of a mobile device simulation or something, and it still keeps loading. I see that it keeps loading, so let's give it a little bit of time. It's taking a little longer than it should because we're streaming, because of the connection. Okay, so this is now desktop. It's looking nice, working perfectly, and if you wish you can set another section in here, so you know the user scrolls down and they simply see a section like as I showed in the beginning of the video. You can also do that, but for now we're going to switch to the mobile view and see how it's going to look on a mobile device. For now, this is an iPad, a tablet. Oh, it has to reload. Let's give it a little bit of time. And I see another message in the live chat. Let me read this really quick. Yesterday. Yeah. You're writing that you tried to build a responsive design and it turned out to look good on desktop, but on mobile it looked horrible. But your English is okay. I can understand everything. It means that your English is okay. And so it's a really common problem that people, as you see here, it's actually 2 columns have disappeared. We're going to fix it in a minute, but the page still keeps loading. Okay, it is done. We're going to fix it in a minute, but we have just created the mobile device. So let's go. Right, here it is. On the mobile device it looks pretty fine because we have adjusted the paddings and margins, and we have adjusted the width of the columns, so it looks okay. So it starts out like this. So as you see, the animation is working, the layout looks nice, the layout looks okay, it's not broken, it does not look broken. Probably the gaps here are a little bit too big. Let's go back and fix it. But back to your question, yeah, it's a really common problem. It's a real common problem that you create the design and on desktop it looks really good, but once you switch to the mobile view it looks horrible. But okay, this is a really nice suggestion. It's a good, thank you for this request. And this time I'm going to keep with this tutorial, and now I'm showing some tips on how you can adjust the layout for the mobile device. But next time I'm going to think about creating a tutorial about how you can readjust, how you can customize the layout of the page, your page that you create for desktop, how you can adjust it for the mobile devices as well, for tablets and for smartphones. Thank you for the suggestion. We're going to do this next week. So here I want to go and edit spacers as well. As you see here, you have these 3 icons, and it means that you can change the values for each device. So for each device you can set different values, and as we change them, now these gaps get smaller and the overall layout is going to look better. let me just go really quick. I'm setting 40 because we have added a 20 pixel padding on the each side of the column, right? It means that in a sum, in total, it's gonna make 40. So, okay, hold on. No, it's all correct, all good. It was 20. Okay, so this is the mobile layout for the mobile device. So we have just checked out the animation in the browser. It worked okay. So animation keeps working. This is how we can fix it on a tablet device. It pretty much is the same process. I have to delete all of the margins and paddings, all of those that we have set for the desktop, because they're not going to work. These values are not going to work for a tablet, neither for a tablet nor for a mobile device. So let's just set 0 for each of these columns and see if we can. So the preview for the tablet does not really work nice in Elementor editor. This is an issue what I have experienced while working with Elementor, and let me know if you have experienced the same, because I was thinking if it's a problem on my end, maybe maybe I just accidentally broke something, or I don't know, or all of the users experience it. So all of the users kind of cannot always see the normal preview for the tablet in Elementor. I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I have noticed. But okay, let me know if you have also noticed that in Elementor you do not always see the correct preview for the tablet device. So as you see, I'm now changing the width for the columns, but nothing happens. On mobile, it did change the width of the columns, but on tablet, nothing really happens. And plus, I cannot scroll because it jumps. It's kind of jumpy. Maybe, I don't know if it's an issue on my end or on Elementor's end, but I don't know. I hope it's not the actual page builder's issue, because it would be too bad. And what I want to do right now is to see the preview again, because we have changed some values for the tablet device, and it keeps loading. Let it load for a little bit. Okay, now we're going to see the layout for the mobile device and the layout for the tablet. Let's give it a second. Okay, so this is the layout for the tablet. It's looking nice. Now all of the gaps here, they do not look too big, they look okay for this layout. And also you can insert another section here, of course. And if we go to the iPad again, okay, so the 3 columns are actually here, but yeah, there are no gaps between them. And let's go and change it like really quickly. And now I want to go to paddings and change the paddings on the side to, let's say, 30 on the left and 30 on the right. And I kind of hate it right now because the preview does not work the right way, but it's not the biggest issue in the world, so we're gonna get through this. So on the right and on the left, changing it to 30 pixels on both sides. And the last one, and on this note, I'm about to wrap this tutorial up in just a little bit. So we have set the paddings. Now we could actually also go and set the values for the spacers, but I think that you got the idea what you should do in order to adjust this layout for tablets and for mobile devices. You simply go and you change the margins and paddings, but first you reset the values, then you change add the values to those that you need for this specific layout. It still keeps loading. Give it a little bit of time. And then you go and adjust the size of the spacers that you have in between the images in a column. And then you create this kind of a layout, which is also working on tablet and which is also working on a mobile device. And looks beautiful on all of these devices. And the tooltips, those are also working. These are also functional, okay, and the light boxes, even the light boxes. Those are all functional on all of the 3 types of the devices, on desktop, on tablet, and on mobile. So in this tutorial, we have learned how you can create this animated gallery with the help of Elementor Pro and a tiny bit of custom CSS. And also, don't forget to go to the description and get the 10% and get the promo code for the 10% discount. And you are going to be able to subscribe to One by Template Monster with a 10% discount. And you can find the links to the service in the live chat. And you can get a JetTricks plugin that we have used in order to create these beautiful tooltips for our images in a gallery, like that. You can get JetTricks, this great plugin for creating visual effects and animations and particles and parallaxes and everything like that. And also a ton of other plugins, WordPress themes, and a ton of other stuff. Graphics, presentations for PowerPoint, for Keynote, for Google Slides, and a lot of other things. Just go and check out One by Template Monster and grab that promo code for a 10% discount. And I thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for checking out this tutorial, and I hope it was useful, it was interesting for you, and you're going to try something like that on your website as well. A sort of this gallery, and I think it looks interesting, it looks modern, and it's going to be definitely surprising for your users. So thank you for watching, thank you for your time, thank you for investing your time into learning more about Elementor, about website building, about website design. And I see you next time. I see you next week on the next webinar by Template Monster. Check out our social media channels for new announcements. And if you have any suggestions for our upcoming videos, but the next time I think we're going to be doing something about responsive design, about adjusting your layouts for tablets and for mobile devices. So this is what I'm thinking we're going to be doing next time. But if you have any other suggestions for our upcoming live streams, because we're planning on doing it weekly, so any ideas, just let me know in the comments, in the live chat right now, or somewhere on Facebook, on YouTube, anywhere. Let me know what you would like to learn about working with Elementor. So this is pretty much it. I thank you guys for watching. Thank you for checking this tutorial out, and I see you guys next week. Bye.